Thanks to the support as a channel member, Tristan McDonald. 19 seasons into the save, in what has definitely been one of the hardest series I've ever done. We are this close to the Premier League. We can get promoted today to the Premier League. 19 seasons in. Just cross everything, boys and girls. If we mess this up from here, I'm going to be very, very upset. Hello and welcome to part 123 of Wembley to Wembley. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have football matches, as many as it takes for Wembley to be a Premier League team. Since you were last with me, this is what's gone on. We've done pretty well, losing only one game away against Manchester United. I think it's pretty reasonable, regardless of what league anyone is in. I always think it's going to be reasonable for Wembley to lose away against Manchester United. But other than that, we're unbeaten. We have had a little bit of an end of season wobble, as you always do in these situations, drawing a couple of matches. Keanu Yanicki, by the way, came in the last episode, got a bit of a habit of scoring penalties for a little while there, which was quite handy as well. But this is what the championship table looks like with 4 games to go. We're 3 points behind Middlesbrough, but we don't care. We're not trying to win the league. We are trying to win promotion, and we are 7 points clear of West Ham. And we've got a game in hand over them. We're 11 points clear of Fulham, and we've got a massively better goal difference than them. We are just about over the finish line. And my £500,000 striker that I signed back in January has done wonders, because he's put a rocket under Rory Murray, who, as you can see, has now got 23 goals. I was moaning in the last episode that he wasn't getting anywhere near a goal every other game. He's now well over it. He's a second top scorer in the championship. That's what we wanted. Wasn't quite what I expected. I expected Nicolau to come in and be the guy. Nicolau came in, made a couple of substitute appearances and then got injured. But Murray took it as an affront and has gone on to become a proper championship striker. We just need to win our matches. I haven't even done the maths. I can't even do the maths. Is one win enough? One win might be enough. I prefer the mystery of it. We're away against Plymouth. This is the team. It's Slocum in goal. Slocum, by the way, new club captain. We've taken the club captaincy off of Seb Scholes. Scholes is almost certainly going to be leaving us this summer. He has got 1 year left on his contract, but he's on the transfer list. He's not really played a lot of football in this second half of the season. And obviously, if we are in the Premier League, he's definitely not able to make that step up. So Scholes is on his way out. So club captain Slocum in goal. A back four of Saltman, McBride, Green and Di Girolamo. New vice-captain Dixon alongside Christodoulou in midfield. And then Duffy, Yanicki and Gardner behind Murray up front. We are away against Plymouth. Plymouth, I think, are down in the bottom half of the table. I haven't actually looked where Plymouth are. Let's have a little look. Let's do the team talk and then have a little look where Plymouth are in the league table. So Plymouth are 23rd. I mean, this has got to be it, hasn't it? We win here today. I think we win here today. We're up. If we try and do the maths now, so if everything ends as it is now, we are promoted. I'm just looking at the numbers now. So there's only 3 games to go and we'd be 11 points clear, I think. I need to check what the situation is with West Ham. We might need the win to have enough of a gap over West Ham. Yanicki wins the ball back in midfield. There's Duffy shooting from range, but he can't keep his shot below the crossbar. Right, so we would be, what's that, 8 points clear West Ham. So we wouldn't be clear of West Ham with a draw. We would be clear of whoever was down in 4th place. Didn't even catch who that was. Goal line technology and aliens at the same time. If we get done over by goal line technology, I'm going to be fuming. In all the years this has been in the game, I don't think I've ever seen one of those be given. So yeah, Fulham can't catch us as things stand, but they are playing right now and they have just taken the lead. So I don't know if that's reflected in that league table just yet. But if we win, with West Ham having already played a win here, and I think that is us up regardless of what happens in other games with 3 games to spare. And then we can focus on trying to catch Middlesbrough. We don't care about catching Middlesbrough. We just want to get into the Premier League. Christodoulou, who definitely should be playing in the Premier League next season regardless. He has been the catalyst for this change in fortunes at Wembley. He was far too good for us when he signed. He's been here 2 years. He's the best player at the club, the best player we've ever had. And he's our first Premier League quality player. I actually think he'll become a full England international. He's that good. I still don't really understand how we signed him. I think he was released by Arsenal. I don't know why they released him. It's very rare to get an absolute gem like this released from a Premier League club, and there's a perfect example of it. What a pass from Christodoulou, and Gardner is there to tuck it past the keeper, put us 1-0 up, and there we are. I can't even get the words out. I'm so excited. We're so close to the Premier League now, but look at this pass, Christodoulou, Premier League quality, a lovely ball. Gardner, lovely finish, 1-0 up. And now I want the league tables to update so I can double check my maths, because my maths coming in always leaves a little bit to be desired. There's Christodoulou again trying to release Gardner. He sold him a little bit short that time, but he wins the ball back because Premier League quality. Gardner turns his man inside out. What a goal from Gardner. I mean, I don't think there's any chance of us signing that boy permanently, but goodness me, would I like to, because that was just stunning. He's just danced past those players there. Great work from Christodoulou to win the ball back, but this from Gardner is something else. Just dancing past his defender, slotting it past the goalkeeper. What is his situation? So he's on loan from Derby. He's out of contract with Derby this summer. You know what? I say there's no chance. Derby are a decent Premier League team, but they might release him. We might actually be able to sign Gardner permanently, and I think he's definitely someone we would want to bring into the mix, because as you can see, he's been one of our best players this season. I think that showed that was his 11th goal of the season. 11th goal in all competitions. Plus he's got 11 assists as well. So 22 goal contributions from 41 matches. That'll do. That's fine. From the right hand side, that's absolutely fine. We take that and we'll bring him in permanently if we can. Right, running the numbers. I can confirm at this point that if everything stays as it is, we are a Premier League team. We're 10 points clear of West Ham. They've already played, so that their points total isn't going to change by the end of this match. Let's not worry about what Plymouth are doing. Let's not let them back into the game. But we'd be 10 points clear of West Ham with 3 games to go, and 11 points clear of Fulham with 3 games to go. This would be it if we can hold on. But obviously Plymouth have just got themselves back into the game. It's 2-1 now. Plymouth will be hopeful. They're trying to keep themselves in the Championship. That's a great save from their keeper as well. And now they are trying to scramble the ball clear. Can they even stay up? They can. They're very much in a survival race. So it's not all over here. And that is very close to being bundled over the line. I think it was Christodoulou who got into the end of it. But there were so many players inside that 6-yard box. It ended up trickling across the goal line. I don't know how it's not gone in, but we still stay at 2-1. We don't want to look at the bottom half of the table. We only care about the top half. Fulham 3-0 up over Watford, definitely doing their bit for the day. And we're now in that very real danger of letting Plymouth peg us back and having to extend this into another match. We don't want to extend this into another match. We want this to be wrapped up here and now. Plymouth with the corner, 25 minutes left on the clock. They're trying to test us with a set piece. It's a shenanigans corner, but we've got someone out there. We're wise to the shenanigans finally. After 19 seasons, we're wise to shenanigans, and we remain 2-1 up. It's substitution o'clock. Let's freshen up some legs. Nicolau is sat there on the bench ready to come on, so he can come on for Murray. Fenty's going to come on for Duffy. And I think we'll bring Daniel Brown on in midfield as well. 3 changes. 3 changes that we didn't necessarily need. They're not tired little legs, but they're players who haven't really performed today. Let's just get some fresh legs on there. I'm still looking for something out of Nicolau. We spent all that money on him. £500,000 if we're going to the Premier League is nothing. And he's got a very real danger of being one of those players who gets lost in the mix unless he shows himself to be good enough in these next few matches. We'll end up signing a Premier League quality striker above him for £3 million. And his $500,000 will look like the cheapest transfer in history. His injury definitely came at the wrong time. That being said, if we don't end up in the Premier League, he's a star. And it's now 2-2. Plymouth very much back in it. And I think this does extend the tension a little bit longer because of Fulham winning their match. Because that means we're only 9 points clear of Fulham. I mean, we do have a much better goal difference, so we're still as good as there, but it won't be mathematically, completely, legally confirmed until the next match, unless we can grab a winner here. So Di Girolamo on the right-hand side gives it to Gardner, who, of course, had a very, very good first half, but is now tiring. And it's now Brown in midfield, back to McBride, and now Saltner to Brown again. We're knocking the ball around nicely, but it would be good to get the ball forward. Christodoulou to Gardner. We've got plenty of options ahead of him, one of which, of course, is the £500,000 man, but it doesn't get anywhere near him. And Brown chasing around in midfield again. Of course, Brown previously our most expensive signing ever. We're not doing great for expensive signings actually being good for us, because Brown hasn't been great either. Right, Yannicki's going to come off for Lambert, and we're going to take off Gardner for Tanjo. Tanjo, by the way, we've already agreed to sell him. He wanted to leave. He's going to Salernitana in the summer for only like 150,000. For a guy who was our top scorer last year, he's definitely fallen victim to Gardner coming in and being as good as he's been. But he's got 10 minutes here to try and win us promotion to the Premier League away against Plymouth. We're going attacking because we just want to do it today. I don't know if Fulham are potentially going to come back and drop some points. I don't think they are. So a goal here would be lovely. We're doing a shenanigans corner of our own. It's Tanjo with the cross to McBride, and Conor McBride, all 6'25" of him or whatever he is, hammers his header home. It's a semi-shenanigans corner. We've gone shenanigans, but then gone back again. It's like an extravagant short corner that ends up with the in-swinger to the far post. McBride is enormous, towers over everybody else, and I think that is the goal that secures our spot as a Premier League team for the first time ever in our history. And I tell you what, boys and girls, I did not expect to get to the Premier League before we played at Wembley. I thought we'd get a playoff somewhere along the way. It's like the game is saving it for us. Is this going to end with a Champions League final at Wembley? Nicolau finally has a goal for us. I mean, he did score before his injury as well, but a goal for Nicolau puts the cherry on top. And now I want to know budgets. I'm so excited. We're heading to the Premier League. Oh, the next episode is going to be fun, unless the board absolutely do me over. I mean, surely here we get the new stadium as well, which theoretically should be in Wembley. So hopefully we're about to get an announcement that we're heading back home to Wembley. We should get a nice, juicy £30 million Premier League transfer budget. I imagine it'll be closer to 10 because we've got no money. But yeah, I am giddy. We only get a £2 million budget. It's going to be a disaster. But I guess if we get the stadium, we could go up, come back down. The money will secure us for a little while, and then we go back up again eventually. We've done that. I've done that before in various saves. Sometimes, oh my word, what has Slocum done there? I've never seen a goal kick like that. Imagine if we hadn't have had the Nicolau goal and that from our captain cost us our spot in the Premier League. What has he just done? I've never seen anything like it. He just kicked it straight up in the air, and then Brown doesn't know what to do with it. Oh my word, that is calamitous, but I don't think it matters. It was just a celebration from Slocum. But I think we're about to get our confirmation that we are in the Premier League, so he's absolutely let off the hook, because it just doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, because there is the confirmation. Wembley promoted to the Premier League. It's taken 19 seasons, but we are a Premier League team, and now cross everything for at least a £20 million budget. If we're stung with 2 million here, it's going to be a disaster. Okay, 350,000 wage budget, which is massive compared to what we've had previously, plus a £20 million transfer budget. So our wage budget is almost trebled. We've got loads of money to spend on transfers. If we decided to use that transfer money all on wages, the wage budget doubles and becomes an actual competitive-ish Premier League wage budget. So we might focus on free transfers anyway, despite having all the money to spend. If we can find the free transfers, that might be the way to do it. But wowzers, Wembley are Premier League. Now I just need the stadium announcement, please, which hasn't come. Is it snuck on here? Normally you see it on here before it's announced, or sometimes you see it on here before it's announced. No sign yet. What I do know is the Gavin Rose Stadium is not fit for the Premier League. Let's look at the Premier League stadium rules. We need, I'll tell you what, it might be. That's upsetting. Minimum capacity 5,000, minimum seating capacity 5,000. So actually the stadium we're currently in would be good enough. It's an Isthmian League stadium. We can't take that into the Premier League. We have to take this football club home. We just don't have any money to do it. Well, I'll play the next couple of games off camera. We'll be back for the final day of the season, and hopefully I'll have some more news for you by then. Well, with 2 more wins, we find ourselves still very much in the title race going into the final day with 3 points behind Middlesbrough, but with a better goal difference. So if we win and they lose, we win the league. We're at home against Rotherham. Rotherham are down in the relegation zone, but are fighting for their lives. A win for them could still see them safe. Middlesbrough, on the other hand, are not playing. Oh, they're away against Watford, a Watford team who are down in 9th with nothing to play for. It's unlikely that we make anything happen, but you never know. While all that's been going on, we've been working on staffing. We've already got the best coaching staff in the Championship. I don't know how that relates to the Premier League, but we're just trying to upgrade our staff everywhere. I'm not going to go through and bore you by showing you everything that we've done, but sometimes people question whether I do stuff like this. There you go. That's me doing stuff like this. It's all done through job adverts. I don't use the staff search screen, so the new guys aren't perfect, but they're upgrades on the old guys, and we're just continuing to try and upgrade those areas. We've had our facilities upgraded as well. We'd like to get them upgraded even further. We're just waiting for some actual money to come in. Although we've got the budgets for next season looking very, very generous, the actual balance isn't very good. So every time I ask for something, the board's saying, no, we've got no money. So I need some money, so they stopped saying that. It's very annoying. Whiny little voiced board members. But let's go win the league. Why not? We're at home against Rotherham. This is the team. Slocum in goal. A back four of Saltmer, McBride, Green and Di Girolamo. Dixon and Christodoulou in midfield. Duffy, Janicki and Gardner then behind Murray up front. Oh, and one other thing, by the way. We've got half the squad wanting Premier League contracts. So this is going to be a thing that we have to do in the transfer special, because some of these guys, I mean, as much as I love Fraser Fenty, he's never going to be a Premier League player. He's already earning, I mean, okay, he's not earning a huge amount of money. He's probably a bad example, but I suspect we'll probably let him go this summer rather than pay him the 30 grand a week he's probably going to ask for as a Premier League player. And there's a few other guys where that's going to be a tougher decision, like Conor McBride. Conor McBride's been a key player for us this season. 38 games. Obviously, we've seen what he can do as a goal threat as well at 6'5". Big value, still got a year left on his contract, but he's earning 7.5 grand already. If he wants 30 or 40 grand a week, I think the answer is going to have to be no. He's a League One player who's not really going to get any better. If we can convince some Championship bozo to give us £5 million for him, we can then go out and get a Croatian 19-year-old who can do the same job, but with more upside on less money. And I think there's going to be some of that going on this summer. But let's worry about that in the next episode. For now, let's see if we can have one last moment of funsies for the season and actually win the league title. Wouldn't that be a thing? It's very, very unlikely. I think there's very little of the season where we've actually been top of the league. So I don't think we necessarily deserve to win the league title. But that being said, we've got over 100 points. And if you've got over 100 points, I think you have every right to be a little hard done by if you don't end up with some silverware at the end of it, especially 100 points in the Championship. It's not often teams get 100 points in the Championship and don't win the league. So we're going to give it a good go. We're going to try and do our bit. And if Middlesbrough decide to drop some points as well and let us sneak in, then all the better. We'll very much take the trophy. It's not important, but it would be fun. And sometimes you just got to have a little bit of fun, boys and girls. That wasn't so fun. Rotherham just slicing for us. Obviously, they've got far more motivation than us for today. They're trying to cling on to their spot in the Championship for dear life. We already know we're a Premier League team for next year. We're already assembling our Premier League backroom staff. We're starting to do some Premier League scouting. McBride has hit the post. He is becoming, as the season goes on, more and more of a threat at these set pieces. Partly, I imagine, because just in general, we're getting better at set pieces. We've had a set piece coach for a few years now. You can see the set pieces we're doing in game are starting to get a little bit more good was the sentence I was going for. I'm going with it. They're getting a little bit more good. Proper English. So the 6'5" guy who's good in the air is obviously going to become more of a threat off the back of that. It's not necessarily that he's getting better. We're getting better at serving him. Di Girolamo slides it across for Murray. It's a beautiful cross. And it's a 27th goal of the season for Murray. And I gave him a little bit of stick halfway through this season that he wasn't scoring enough goals. He's coming on a free transfer. He's one of the top scorers in the Championship. He's probably not going to be good enough to make the step up for the Premier League. We've seen it at so many of these promotion seasons throughout the save. We have these guys who get 25, 30 goals and just don't step up. And the biggest step up in the entire footballing world Sheffield is that one from the Championship to the Premier League. So he's almost certainly not going to be good enough for us for next year, but he might be good enough for us to sell for 5 million quid to fund another one of those Croatians that we were talking about before. We're just going to fill the team with Croatians. Gardner with the cross now, and it's cleared. Christodoulou won't be replaced by a Croatian. Oh my word, I thought, did that come back off the crossbar? That might have come back off the crossbar. If the goalkeeper's just caught that, that's very impressive. Right, Middlesbrough are still drawing in their game away against Watford. So for as long as it's still a draw there, there's always the chance that Watford could sneak in and hand us a league title. And wouldn't that be a lot of fun? But it's Di Girolamo to take the throw. Finds Yannicki, and now Dixon forward to Gardner. Murray's come very wide, but in doing so, dragged his defender out of position. Gardner steps in, takes the spot that Murray and the defender have vacated, and grabs his 13th goal of the season. What an important player he's been on that right-hand side. Still don't think he's got a new contract with Derby, so he's one potentially we might be able to sneak in on a free transfer, which would be jolly good if we could make it happen. But at 2-0 up, we're doing our bit. Watford, we just need you to do us a favour. Gardner again dances past his man again. He's such a threat. Gardner now backheels it to Christodoulou, the arrogant little rascal, and Christodoulou can't keep it inside of that post, and it remains at 2-0. Still 0-0 Watford Middlesbrough. We're just all eyes on what's going on at Watford now. Gardner just dribbling around for fun again, plays it across to Dixon. It's back with Gardner again. I wonder how much of how good Gardner has been is because Tom Best's the assistant manager and he's just doing what Tom Best used to do. I don't know if that's the kind of thing that has an influence on the game or if Gardner's just a special talent, but he's so very good. He's a proper out-and-out winger and he's so good at it. He's such a good dribbler, so quick, so skillful. And I mean, he's got decent delivery on him as well, as we saw then. It's now 3-0. And Middlesbrough have taken the lead against Watford, and that's probably that. I mean, we'll take second place. It's all we ever really properly hoped for. We never thought we were going to catch Middlesbrough. They've been absolutely relentless. The fact that we're going to end the season on 103 points and it's not enough to win the league shows just how relentlessly good Middlesbrough have been all season. But we don't care. We want that Premier League money. It's not even the act of playing in the Premier League that we want. For now, we want one season of Premier League money. We want it to use that to justify a new ground, get the training, the youth facilities, get all the backroom staff, the stadium, get everything upgraded. So even if that's all more important than the players. It's going to be a very different kind of summer because that's going to be far more important than the playing squad. We want to get everything right off the pitch. So if we do come down, when we go back up again next time, we're properly ready. We'll be in a new stadium fit for the Premier League. We'll have training and youth facilities fit for the Premier League. We'll have Premier League backroom staff, Premier League scouting structure. Like at the moment, the next gen came in a couple of weeks ago. I still can't scout the next gen list. That kind of stuff is absolutely holding us back. And we need to get everything right off the pitch now. That's far more important than on the pitch. And I'm completely fine with getting relegated and coming back up again. I'm not going to get sacked if we get relegated. We shouldn't be in the Championship, never mind the Premier League. So there's no fear of me getting sacked if we go down that route. Obviously, we'll do our best to try and stay up, but not at the expense of better training facilities, better youth facilities. And frankly, look how good we are. 5-0 up now. Occasionally, you get a few people questioning, oh, Kev's reloading off camera. There's no way they can be that good. We never see it in the match engine. We never see it in the videos. Open your eyes. Look at it happening here. We're absolutely ruining Rotherham. We are incredibly good at football. That's 4 different goal scorers. Gardner's just having an absolute, that can't be a 10 out of 10. It is a 10 out of 10. Gardner's on a goal and 3 assists today. He is having the game of his life, potentially in his final game for Wembley. Obviously, we're going to do what we can to try and bring him back. But like I say, not at the expense of new training kit for the youth team. We've got our priorities right. Right, Duffy is going to come off. Fenty will come on for him. Potentially Fraser Fenty's last game for the club. He's been a good servant, but I'm not giving him a pay rise to go and play in the Premier League. Seb Scholes, former club captain, he can come on and say goodbye to everybody. That's the last you'll see of him. And I am going to bring Nicolau on as well and stick him up alongside Murray just because I want to see him playing football. we haven't really... Murray's got so good since he's had some competition. I think that's what he needed. He needed some competition for places. So I guess we give Nicolau a chance to have 20 minutes in a game that's already won. I mean, he looked lively there, didn't he? He was offside, but his shot is the one that came back off the post for McBride to tuck away. So I don't think it's that Nicolau has been a flop. I think it's just that Murray stepped up as massively as he did once he had that competition for places in. Murray, now drifting out onto the left-hand side, can do this when he's got a strike partner up there with him. Dixon plays it across to Fenty. It's taken a huge deflection. It's gone down as an own goal. It's now 6-0. It's a shame. There's 3 points somewhere across this season that we've dropped. If things could have been so different, we could have been doing a trophy lift at the end of this, but it wasn't to be. Christodoulou can come off for Brown, and we'll take off Gardner for a standing ovation. This is a double standing ovation, really. Gardner obviously has been brilliant this season. Tanjo was brilliant last season. Neither of them will be here next year, so we need an entirely new right-hand side, but we'll get the double standing ovation in for the guy going off and the guy coming on. They've both done their bit in getting Wembley to the Premier League. And that is another howler from Slocum. Is he trying to tell me that he's not ready to make the step up? We've just made him club captain. I mean, there were question marks over him when he first arrived. So I don't think it'd be the end of the world if we have to bring in a new goalkeeper. But I'd hate for the game to force it upon me by starting to make him make more regular silly mistakes. But we saw it in the previous match we filmed 4 matches ago with that ridiculous goal kick. And that was sloppy from him again there. Fenty. Looking for the long throw. Our last piece of championship football, maybe ever. Murray turns, looking for his hat-trick. Can't keep the shot down. And that should be that. I don't think Watford got back into it against Middlesbrough. It's... can we see that? We can't. It doesn't really matter. We'll have a look at it on the results page here. So Watford losing 2-0. Pathetic. We won 6-1. Sending a message that we didn't fluke our way to the Premier League. We absolutely deserve to be there. 103 points. What does that mean? To Gavin Rose Stadium. I don't know what that means. I thought for a minute there that was our new stadium announcement. Is it going to be in here somewhere? Squad planning for next season. We've not got time for that. No new stadium announcement yet. But hopefully it's coming, along with a big pile of cash, because goodness me, do we need a big pile of cash. But in the next episode, we're going to spend. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.